Said we move into quarterfinal number 2. Mission here tonight.
Well, Bruce the Preacher Macfie, 97 fights. That's 97 fights, 67 wins. And I tell you what, if he gets a couple more fights under his belt here tonight, he will go to be one of the Australians that's entered the squared ring the most times. If he can get close to 100 fights, Bruce the Preacher Macfie.
If he makes it through the final, the Preacher is going to become the century fighter. Mark Eller with the introductions.
On 1 week's notice, please give it up for Clayton Collyer. His opponent in the red corner tonight, fighting out of the K6 gym in Brisbane. With a fight record of 97 fights, 67 and 28. He is the 2003 Super 8 winner. Please put your hands together for Bruce the Preacher Macfie.
This one should be a cracker. Clayton Collyer, as the Hammer said, 1.5 weeks' notice, going in as the underdog against the raging favourite, the Preacher Bruce Macfie, who needs to perform well tonight in lieu of his upcoming war, November 19.
Danny Maskachev, another former Victorian.
Great to see Danny in the corner.
Shepparton. Danny Maskachev. Also have a look at his return early in 2006. Maskachev saying he'll be back and ready to rumble again.
Good outside thigh kick there from Macfie. He will have the speed here. Collyer, very nuggety fighter, can take some enormous punishment. I don't know if he's going to have the weapons to really phase Bruce here. Bruce does have the massive experience advantage and should be a little too slick for Clayton Collyer.
But Clayton Collyer, Michael, as you mentioned, is a very tough campaigner. And now based on the Gold Coast, of course, Collyer, out of the Boonchu gym. He'll be well schooled. As Macfie locks on a very nice grapple and just bullies Collyer into the Musashi corner there.
Originally from Victoria, Clayton Collyer, Hammer.
From Warrnambool.
Warrnambool with Richard Walsh.
Wally Walsh, that's right.
Had a bad stint earlier in his career when he was struck with glandular fever. Got over that. Clayton Collyer rallied back and has since forged himself a fine reputation in Muay Thai circles up here in Queensland and, as you said, more recently in the boxing realm.
Well, that is really testament to Collier's character. He's just a tough boy and always fighting back and always fighting against the odds, but gives it a real shake-up, Clayton Collyer. A hell of a nice guy to beat.
Quick glance to his corner. Christian Tri-Ming working with the Preacher. Stinging right hand from Bruce Macfie, who, as I said earlier, takes on Wayne Parr in that grudge match, November 19 at the Chandler Theatre.
That's an all-new arena down there, the Chandler Theatre. We're told a very, very nice fight stadium to get down and have a look.
And they are going to pack that one to the rafters. Don't miss latest issue of International Kickboxer magazine with the Preacher and JW on the cover. And they've got some fighting words to say about each other, Hammer.
They've issued the challenge well and truly.
Oh, yeah.
And there's all the reader poll as well, with all the experts tipping who they think is going to win out of John Wayne Parr and, of course, the Preacher, the man with the green hair in centre ring right now, Bruce Macfie.
And look at Macfie circling off to his right, constantly moving, not allowing himself to become a set target for Clayton Collyer. Trying to pull the head down into the big bok choy off the rear knee there, Bruce Macfie. And he's just pacing himself. He knows that he's got the experience here. He knows he's got the weapons, and he knows if he takes care of business against Collyer, he's still got to get through 2 more fights to win this tournament. And the winner of this one, of course, goes up against a very sharp-looking Andrew Keogh, who defeated Ben Pixie Burton in quarterfinal number 1.
Well, that's right. The whole idea of these 8-man eliminators, or the eliminator-style tournaments, is to get through the rounds as quick as you can, so you're nice and fresh in the final without too many injuries. You want to dispose of your opponent as quickly as you can without your shins clashing too much like they just did there, and getting too damaged on the way through. Having a look at the action from the first, Collyer throwing a low kick and Macfie making him pay for it with some tidy handwork upstairs. But Clayton, as always, fights on and pushes forward. But Macfie at range, and I tell you what, Bruce Macfie, the Preacher's hands are looking better with every fight.
Okay, second round of 3. The voice, Michael Chavello. The Hammer, Mark Castanini from the RNA Pavilion in Brisbane. Josh Sexton and Nuggets Evolution 5 Super 8 tournament. And a nice high left round kick. Make it 2 off the lead leg there. Hell, make it 3 while we're at it. from the Preacher, Bruce Macfie.
He's using that switch round lead kick nicely, the Preacher, again off the lead leg, switching up very quickly and powering up off the lead leg and then bringing the rear hand through straight off it.
Good options here from Bruce Macfie, circling off to his right. Step up knee, looking for the upper rib cage, left side of the body of Clayton Collyer.
Right, boys, break,
Ties
break,
up Collyer. They tangle over in the neutral corner. Murph separates both men. All one-way traffic so far to Bruce Macfie, and Collyer won't just stand there and allow Macfie to tee off on him like a golf range. High knee there from Macfie. Circling to his right again. Good lateral footwork here from Macfie. Step up knee. And Collyer took it sweetly to the jaw area. Jab from Macfie. Hook outside thigh kick, rib kick. Excellent combination there. That is champagne, Bruce Macfie.
Just a couple of quick call-outs. The boys from Samurai Martial Arts Supplies down in Box Hill, Dave McDermott and Sammy down there. Big supporters of all the broadcasts on Fox Sports, all the kickboxing. They love it and give us some real good feedback, as well as the crew, Knox Raw Donuts, Johnny Scopes down there. Because we've got a bit of a following, I'll tell you what, you can't buy a donut these days without someone saying they watch the fights.
It's building up, Hammer.
So I really
Great to
appreciate
see.
the support of everyone that tunes in and has a look at these classic events.
Bruce Macfie, as I said, the favourite on this side of the draw, looking for a showdown in the semi-finals with a relatively fresh Andrew Keogh. Have a look at Macfie working off the lead leg check there. Just pops out the jab outside thigh kick. Clayton Collyer taking more hits than a concierge at Russell Crowe's hotel. Good outside thigh kick from Macfie again.
I'm not getting paid as much though.
Straight right hand off the jaw.
Hit me with a phone. Hell, hit me with a phone booth for that much money. Hit me with a Telstra truck. You're going to pay me $1 million for a phone across the head, jeez.
Have a look at Macfie though. He is absolutely going to town, but not doing anything silly here, Hammer. Just doing what he's got to do to get over the line on the judges' scorecards. Not even going for the knockout of Collyer.
Nice and methodical, Macfie. He's just picking his shots and just settling nicely into centre ring, getting comfortable with his surroundings, and of course he's at work. This is his office, Bruce Macfie, and he's at work at the moment against somewhat underprepared Clayton Collyer. As we said, Collyer stepping into centre ring tonight as a last-minute replacement, 1.5 weeks' notice, and there is not too many fighters in Australia that would have stepped in against Bruce the Preacher Macfie on 1.5 weeks' notice. So I take my hat off to Clayton Collyer for showing a bit of heart and giving it a red-hot go.
Christian chiming in the corner of Bruce Macfie. Beautiful left hook just above the ear. The outside thigh kick, the high kicks, he works so well off that lead leg.
Well, you see, the mark of an experienced fighter, Macfie, he goes high with the left hook and then straight away chops low, because you throw that the distancing out on your opponent. Of course, they don't know whether the attacks are going to come to the head or the legs, and that's the way you score the points, and that's exactly what Macfie's doing.
Third and final. All one-way traffic to Bruce Macfie. Front kick to the midsection. Collyer tried to drop the right hand to the sternum. Macfie with the high knees now. Stinging right hand up the centre corridor again. One of his favoured weapons. And Macfie actually rating his right hand as one of the best in the country. And certainly when he fights JW on November 19, it's going to be a battle of the big bok choy right hands.
Well, I was talking actually to Scotty Bannon, the former world champion, of course, one of the greats of the Australian Thai boxing scene, Scotty Bannon, and he's actually fought John Wayne Parr, of course, and you know what, he doesn't rate John Wayne Parr's hands. He said Macfie hits a lot harder than John Wayne Parr.
Wow.
And Scotty the Cannon Bannon predicting that JW is going to be in for a bit of trouble on the 19th of November and at the Sleeman Centre. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Cannon Bannon's prediction comes true.
Big call there from Scotty Bannon.
Move it out.
Big hello to the People's Champion.
Let's go, mate. Put it in.
And Murph keeping the action flowing here in centre ring. High round kick off the rear leg.
Oh,
Jab, and that was a
beautiful step
schnoggin
left.
knocker there from Bruce Macfie. Collyer will be breathing out of the back of his head after that one.
This is the last round of this fight.
Let's go.
Glance to his corner from Macfie. So confident, so casual. He knows he's got this one in the bag. Stinging 1-2 to the jaw again of Collyer. Step up knee off the rear leg.
Righto, boys. break
Ties
it
him up like
break
a
it
pretzel in centre ring.
You see McPhee throwing the hand combos, chopping low and then slipping straight into the grapple and getting ready to chamber the knee through. Like that, nice step through knee that the Preacher possesses. Good lateral movement. He's never a sitting target, the Preacher. He keeps up on the balls of his feet, moving around, launches the attacks, and then you'll see him back off and step out so he doesn't get caught with anything on the way out.
Clayton Collyer being backed into the neutral corner, and he's taken more hits than a Cheech and Chong movie here in the third round. Rips the right hand to the rib cage, but the Preacher a little too slick for him.
You see the Preacher launch his attacks, and then before Collyer can answer, he doesn't give him time to answer, he steps out of range. And that is very, very clever fighting from the man with the green hair, the Preacher, Bruce McPhee.
Crowd rallying here behind their local favourite, the Preacher. And why wouldn't they? It's been an awesome display in quarterfinal number 2. And unless Collyer can find a flash knockdown here,
That's it, Clayton.
it's going to be a unanimous decision the way of the man with the green noggin.
Oh, nice right hand from Collyer. But I tell you what, Clayton Collier's just in there to wear McPhee down and make it harder for McPhee into the second round. He's really making the Preacher work for this fight, Clayton Collyer, and he's not taking an easy road. He's not giving it up. Fought to the end, and that is a fighting spirit that Clayton Collyer possesses. And I tell you what, Mike, you look at the crowd at Evolution 5 and you just got to appreciate that they support both fighters and they love to see a good stoush, and they're just supporting the fighters all the way, which makes the boys perform even better. And that is what the Queensland crowds are renowned for. To see again McPhee slipping the grapple on, locking that head in tight, bang, chambering the knees. Collyer wearing that one square on the face, but he's a tough boy. He fights straight back. There's Clayton Collyer. Wore a right hand, and there you see McPhee landing the right hand and just dancing out of the way.
No doubt about this one. It's going to go to Bruce the Preacher McPhee, and he is through to semi-final number 1 to take on Andrew Keogh.